Good morning, Gurpreet.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can you see and hear me okay? Everything's
Yes,
okay?
yes. Pretty good. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Wonderful to see you again on this very beautiful snowy morning. I went outside before satsang and just sort of stood in the quiet, and it was so snowy and beautiful.
Mm.
And I realized my beliefs came in like, oh, it's snowy and it's cold and it's going to be hard to drive in. And then I just let them drop and was just with the snow. And it was just so simple and beautiful. And I realized how much we put our beliefs on everything. It was just a little moment, but it was like, I made a whole world about this. There's beautiful snow in front of me and it's cold and refreshing and I'm waking up from how we complicate what's true. It was really good to see. Good to be honest about it. And that's the topic of today's open talk is honesty.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to start off with a couple of Bible quotes from the Christian Bible.
Okay.
To give a little context. The world would love you its own, but because you are not of the world, therefore the world hates you. I was like, wow. And I think that's probably a really good way to describe what every teacher like you has to deal with. The resistance of the system. Just like, no, we hate you. You want to kill us, so we want to kill you, because that's what the system feels. You're killing it because it's not true and you are true. So it's like, that's the perceived threat. And I just thought that was really just a powerful quote that illustrates what a teacher has to face when doing what you do. So I just wanted to start there. And then the other quote I had from the Bible is a famous one when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, the light. And I was thinking about that for a few minutes, and you could probably have an open talk about all three parts. I am the way is really interesting because the path, he is actually not just the truth, but the path to the truth, which is really kind of a neat way of thinking about it.
Yeah. We'll begin with, as you have mentioned, the word honesty. This topic is going to be about honesty. And then you have mentioned about Jesus mentioned the word truth, right? So every seeker is after I want to attain the truth. I want to be what Jesus said. I like to be like that way, right? But at the same time, the person is running away from to be honest with its own self, though, right? So the honesty, the word honesty is very little word, right? So we just kind of brushing it off, like, it says, we're thinking, okay, this is just a kindergarten thing. We are looking for the truth, right?
Yeah.
So just see that this honesty with your own self is the way toward the truth. It slowly, as you keep on earning, it becomes a truth itself. But if we just only relating with the truth, it's a very big, powerful word, or even to reach the truth, right? It's something is way far away from ourselves.
I see.
Yeah. And if it's very far away from ourselves, we are looking somewhere far away thing. We're looking for truth way outside, or even trying to dig our own self, just trying to find the truth. But we're missing the link. Being honest is the link. So from very early times, as a child goes to kindergarten, and even the parents, they all teaching us to be honest, just speak the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we all been like, I think in the whole world, we know this truth, like we're supposed to speak the truth, right? But just see that if we are not honest with our own self, what we are speaking, it's like we're trying to be honest, we're trying to speak the truth. But at the same time, we are being dishonest with our own self, though. Right? If we are dishonest with our own self, what we are speaking is the same thing. But it seems like we are presenting the truth, or trying to present the truth, which is based on our own inner dishonesty with our own self. So with our own self, there was such a battle going on inside of the person. Person does not like to be whatever it sees, right? And always through the scriptures, through the books, right? Through the spiritual practices, the person wants to be a better person. Always think, I'm supposed to be honest person. But what is going on inside this battle, this fight inside, it just becomes uglier and uglier.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you say I'm supposed to be a better person, there's already a wall, right? Because you already kind of have a preference about not being what you actually are.
Yeah. So, but it's when we are speaking, it seems very small, but people are struggling so much. They're suffering so much because everybody's thinking, I'm supposed to be someone. I'm supposed to be pure person. And inside, the fight with the impurity is so much, like denials, even like, even so many times the person doesn't even know I am being dishonest with myself.
Yeah.
Person is thinking I am honest. I am whatever I can see. It's like I'm honest enough. Yeah. But this way, it seems like, yes, trying the best, because being taught from the early age to be honest person. But inside, it's not the same story.
Yeah. I have so many sort of things that I wrote down about honesty, but I just want to share what's hitting me right now is this incredibly huge split between good and bad in our belief systems is so much of the cause of this dishonesty. Like if we would just drop that, yeah, I'm selfish, I'm greedy, I'm lustful, I'm angry, I lie, we wouldn't mind. In a way, it would be much easier for us. But I think somehow one of the biggest splits in us is this good bad split. And you can't be bad. Like everything, and the belief on top of that split is the belief of like everything that'll happen to me if I am bad. Lose my friends, society turns its back on me, God will turn his back on me or her back on me, whatever God is, all these beliefs. And that to me is the foundation of the dishonesty. At least that's what's kind of coming to me in this moment. And it's too bad. It's the whole concept is based on the shaky belief that we've never really taken a good look at.
It's like, just see that, like even the split is, I'm not supposed to be greedy. I'm supposed to be good, Yeah, this good and bad is based on, it's with everything.
Yeah.
Even for example, we're thinking, I'm not supposed to be greedy person. I'm not supposed to. It's according to the Bible, it's according to the other scriptures, right? It's according to the society, good citizen. It's like all of it. It's just like, I'm not supposed to be greedy, but the greediness is there.
Yep.
But if the greediness is there, the moment the person sees his own greediness, the moment, and right away, it's kind of very slippery, very rejecting point from inside of you.
And it's like, ugh.
Yeah. It's very mechanical and a very hidden way. The person says no to it right away and create this wall automatically. It's not like you're so much conscious of it in the very beginning. It's like even this word that I am greedy, when you see it, it's your own greed. It's like, it's very unbearable to the person. So stronger the belief person is in that I am a pure person, I don't have a greed, and the stronger the resistance is going to be toward this seeing.
Or like that, I don't have much greed, like that way we sort of admit it without admitting it, like, yeah, it's fine, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, this is just by saying it, just saying it, like, okay, you know what, yeah, of course I have a money, or I'm working hard and I have a little bit greed, but not much, it's okay. Right? But when this way is just polishing our own self by saying it, mellowing it down, but the split inside is so big. But the moment you touch, it's like a touch means you're just seeing yourself as a greed. It's unbearable. So from years, I was just using this word, just be honest, be sincere with your own self. Inner sincerity is so much needed. Right? But now you see that if I see my dishonesty, if I see my greed, and I see I'm dishonest, I just don't like it. I just hate seeing my greed. It's unbearable to me. It's unacceptable by me. Right? I just become so uptight, like, oh, that's a bad thing. This means you're becoming a bit honest with yourself, because you see that, you see your dishonesty. You're seeing how much you're rejecting.
Yeah, I was about to say it sounds strange, but you're almost probably can know, you can tell by how much resistance you feel to what you're seeing, how honest you're being. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm a little greedy. It's like, no, that was too easy. Where's the resistance? The resistance is hiding. If it's really hard, you're probably closer to the truth.
And another thing is, we have to be so slow, because we're speaking way too fast. We are running way too fast. Right? If we are slowing down, we can catch ourselves, that where we at, what we are doing to ourselves. And that's why it's like, if we are keeping the same speed, so much being missed.
What's coming to me now is we're missing where we're speaking from inside of ourselves.
It's speedy. So that's why, to be in this little bit honesty that I am greedy, right? So it's not easy. First step, just being honest that I see it, not I'm saying it, right? I see that. So when you see that, just remember you're not wholesomely honest yet, even with this greed part. Because most of the time the person says, okay, you know what? You told me to see it. I seen it and that's it, done. Now I'm okay. Now I don't have a greed. I did have it. I saw it. It's gone, right? This, we call it, is a waking process. When we are in an unconscious state, we are just mechanically doing everything. We are not awake. We're not conscious. Because we call it a bigger picture consciousness. But as a human being, we're not conscious. We are in a big mechanical procedure. So earning this consciousness is like through this, for example, one part is we are talking about as example is greed. If you're taking a step, slowing down again and again, keeping your face toward this greed, choosing the honesty, constantly choosing the honesty. Every moment you're choosing the honesty to see this greed. And then you can see that everything about this greed and around this greed, it's like there is like a rejection, like, you know, it's just person is inside is kicking. Because doesn't want to be that. More you're turning your face this way toward this greed, it's unacceptable. So it takes a lot to be honest.
Yeah, honesty is it's interesting because the word itself, we can really, like, we can trick ourselves with the word. Like to me, it seems like you could do a couple of things. You could sort of say, like you're saying, oh, I'm greedy. Like you could trick yourself into thinking that you're seeing all of it. And you can also trick other people into thinking that you're honest. Like I noticed this pattern in myself years ago when I used to, I was in therapy and worked on myself spiritually, and I could admit my flaws. I could admit my flaws. And I really came off like a very sensitive person. Like, oh, I can be manipulative sometimes. Oh, he's so honest. He admits that he can be manipulative. Wow, I can really, you almost manipulate people into trusting you by admitting a few things that you're okay admitting. But the minute you go a millimeter below the surface to the really ugly stuff, it's like, are you manipulating me now? Oh, the shakiness comes. So it's like you can use honesty to be dishonest. It's really tricky. Like we fool others and we fool ourselves. Because it seems like the way you're talking about it, honesty is like keeping your eye on it. Honesty doesn't end. It just keeps opening you and opening you.
Yes. It's like you see that the tricks are like the moment you see something, you're a little bit being honest, and then right away the ego kicks out, saying, okay, now I'm better. I wasn't before, but now I am. Now I became this, I'm sensitive, as you're saying, or I am more open now than before. And then the ego is outward, right? So just remember, Jesus used the word truth. And we all hungry for that truth. But the first is denial, is nobody wants to be easily honest. And another word is going to come is like when you turn your face toward yourself, the rejection is like, okay, so what does this mean? I don't work, I don't earn money, it's like all these shouting words that's going to come out.
Okay, I see what you mean. You almost try to justify yourself or justify. Well, if I'm not greedy at all, yeah, you're playing more games with yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So each thought again is like dominating you one way or the other. And then justifying oneself, then we cannot live in this world if we are not greedy. But I'm not saying be greedy or not be greedy. I'm saying we're using the word honesty here.
Yeah.
Not artificial honesty, real honesty with ourselves. This is where you're going to begin to see how much is going on inside of you. Okay? I use the word we are mechanical as a consciousness. It's programmed, right?
Mhm.
So if you go inside, it's like you're already threatening. It's like if you're shining the light of honesty upon yourself, upon this even ego, or upon this greed we are using as an example, it's like everything is gonna become shaky. If person is more aggressive, angry, frustration, rejection is gonna come out. So everybody's different. So wherever the person is coming from is gonna come out first.
Yeah, this is really good. I mean, this is what I loved about that second quote. I am the way, the truth, the light. The last thing he said was the light.
Yeah.
Which is like
It's
perfect.
like your honesty, you're choosing to be honest. It is the light. But it's in a very small way, which you always looking for big truth light.
Yeah, you don't want to admit that you're a jerk. You want the truth? Start with you being a jerk. What? What does that have to do with Jesus? What are you talking about? Why are you being mean to me? Like, start right there. It's crazy because we just skip right over it. Yeah, you're right. We're looking for something beautiful.
Exactly. So it's like because of a truth seems so far away from ourselves. Why it seems so far? Because we're not choosing to be honest with ourselves.
Right. Right.
And another thing is, okay, even somebody hear me saying it, need to be honest with myself. Another part is the person is in a sleepy mode, in unconscious mode. So the person trying to be honest now, which is again kind of impossible because there is no crack where you can see your greed.
What do they do about that?
That's why we need someone who can show us, who can shine its light on us to show us, okay, I have a greed. Because many people, when they sit in the connection, then they say, oh, okay, now I see.
Yeah.
Before I was thinking about it, but now I actually see.
Very useful to have a teacher or somebody further along or somebody who can reflect back to you. Yes. You're missing something right there. Look at that.
Yeah. Because that teacher is not going to let you go back to sleep. It's not going to let you go back to this unconscious mode.
Yeah.
If you're willing to be open to this honesty.
Yeah, to this light.
Yeah. So that is first, then this honesty is going to cost you, right?
Yeah, all your lies and protections and things you believe about yourself and fears you have about if I'm not that way, I'll be rejected or I'll be judged or whatever. You're gonna have to, that's the cost, all those things.
In the very, very beginning, people used to tell me so openly, okay, you know what? I'm ready to pay the cost. I used to use this word, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you your entire world you're carrying inside of you. It's gonna cost you. Person says, no problem, I'm
It's
ready.
easy, no problem.
But when you begin to walk within, then you see how much your inner is rejecting. It's like this inner is rejecting this light of your own honest, little bit of your own honesty is rejecting it. Because there is so much going on. It's not one thing. There is a fight going on. There's a protection going on. There are so many beliefs, right? From ages, it's pressed down in you. It's like everything is running around inside of you.
That's a good time for me to just share real quick. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep. And I knew we were going to be having this open talk about honesty. And I just said to myself, just be honest for a minute. And I felt my awareness move down into my chest, my abdomen area. And I just felt like there were all these eyes, these personalities, and they were all screaming, yelling, wanting attention. And every one of them was completely and utterly selfish. And they didn't really care about each other or me. And it was the word that came to me was chaos. Just total chaos.
It is.
And it was just for a minute. I was honest for a second. And then
exactly.
I lost it and tried to go back to sleep. And I was like, these people here all the time. Jeez, I got so much to take care of that I don't walk around aware of them. And it was just a couple seconds, but it was like, wow, that's what's in me.
Yeah, now you see that. This is good example. We cannot be even honest for example, you said more than a second in the beginning. Because it's unbearable. That's why the truth is beyond this world, means it's not according to your own person. Yeah. There is no self-gain in it.
That's a good way to describe it, because it is, yeah, it's otherworldly. It's like the honesty comes in like a light and you're just seeing the machinery of yourself, and there's nothing to do with it. There's nothing practical to do with it other than see it and be like, wow.
Yeah. This is another reminder you just told me. You just have mentioned you can't do anything. You know, all the years I'm seeing again and again, person is willing to do anything. Anything, any task you give, person will do it. But not to be. To be is, like, as you said, it's unbearable.
We'll do anything except not doing.
Yeah, we call it not doing. It's like, you know, but it's like to be, you know, to bear our inner state is.
And you're saying it just now, it almost feels like we can't deal with the helplessness that implies. Like if being is all we can do, if we can't do anything, there's so much helplessness there in a way. In a way, no, because we can be and we can see, we have that capacity, but in another way to the person, it's just like you're helpless. There's nothing to do, nothing you can do.
Because this is again and again when I'm guiding the person, it's like, this is exactly what you're saying. The person will say, okay, I cannot do anything now. I said, okay. You see, right at this moment, the person's mind is speaking about it. And now person gonna follow the mind again. Said the same thing. Because the first state is an unbearable state. And the second state, when you're saying it, okay, this means I cannot do anything. That's it. This means I'm supposed to be like this way. That's why the truth is difficult. Because our mind, which we have been using, is so well trained to protect us. This mind, what we have been using, has been sitting on a driver's seat from a long time.
And it doesn't really understand the honesty.
Yeah. And we never allow to let this honesty to live. Because we have created artificial honesty through our mind.
Yeah.
The true way of being honest a little bit is just going to shatter you. And then again and again, true way of being is like again and again, your structured world is going to shatter. Which is very unbearable by the person gonna think this is not the way, because I was thinking Jesus said the truth. It's the light, right? Because mind already created this light, artificial light. So the eyes are set on everything according to the mind, light according to the mind, honesty according to the mind, truth.
Yeah, the mind sees this beautiful garden, whatever it sees.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I almost see like I don't know, like a scientist or like the Wizard of Oz, that movie where it's like you're sort of like the mind thinks it's controlling the life. It thinks it's controlling its future. Or maybe it's being controlled, but it's like the mind is here and the life is here. And the mind is like, I'm analyzing my life. I'm thinking about my life. I'm trying to control my life and direct my life. But the honesty is flashing the light here. And this is the one guy that's been hiding the whole time while he's been trying to manage the life. And he goes, wait, no, I'm not in the life. The life's here. I control the life. You don't look at me. And it's like exposure, the ultimate exposure.
Exactly. And that guy does not like to be exposed at all. Because as I said, we have used our mind from long time. And we are trained to use our mind even faster way now.
Yeah. You see it in the movies and the TV shows. Everybody's talking faster and being funny quicker and responding faster.
Yeah. Yeah. Because success is that way.
Yeah. You always want more, better.
Yeah, exactly.
Richer.
So that's why the truth, if the success is this way, the truth isn't it further and further and further away from ourselves? Right? Because we are part of this fast moving machinery.
It's so fast. As I'm talking to you and feeling the invitation to the slowness, I'm realizing, like, I know I'm fast and I need to keep seeing how fast I am. I'm not saying, oh, I know I'm fast. Like, I see that there's so much more to see, but I'm also seeing that there's like so much draw and pull to the fastness, the quickness, the speed by my own mind, which uses it so I don't see it. Like, the faster I am, the less I'll see the guy. So the guy likes it. The world likes it. Like, the whole system is going faster, 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 faster. Go, 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 go. The truth is just like further and further away from that speed.
Exactly. Yes. And then you see that when we even through this seeing our dishonesty with ourselves, choosing to be honest, and then what the person gonna feel first? Person's gonna feel, oh, I feel like I'm beginning to lose my mind, right? Because this is where the person has been. It's like this driver, this guy who was behind this whole show the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more you identify with him, the more you're going to feel like you're losing your mind, because he's got nothing to do with this honesty. He doesn't know what to do with the honesty.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like this grip between two people beginning to loosen, and that more threat comes. Because he says, I'm going insane. I don't understand all this, and I don't get it. Nothing is coming in my hand. I was looking for truth and it's not coming in my hand. Right?
Yeah.
All the mistrust is going to be louder, because you're beginning to lose the connection with this guy who was running the show the whole time, even trying to be honest, trying to be whatever you ask.
Yeah. There's even just a functional second by second extreme discomfort.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's dopamine or one of these chemicals in the brain where just you sort of stay entertained, and there's a certain speed. Even you could imagine driving in a car and the wind going through your hair and just having to slow down to 5 kilometers an hour in your little car, going so uncomfortably slow.
Yeah.
Like, the mind doesn't know what to do. Like, just sit, keep sitting, because the whole person is programmed to do.
Exactly.
So uncomfortable.
Exactly. And the truth is the most difficult to be in. That's why it's above, beyond this world. So even though it's the most difficult part to be in, but this does not mean it's impossible.
It's
It is
reassuring.
possible. Hmm?
I said that's reassuring. It's good to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it feels like we're
Yeah.
not capable. We don't have
Yeah.
the capacity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because just see that we don't need to keep this truth way far away from ourselves. We don't have to put it on the, above and beyond kind of way, in mental way, right? It's like keep it in you. you long to be like that. You long to pay the cost.
You know, it's funny, there's another way, as you're saying what you just said, that I think we trick ourselves, which is like we put, and I think you've said this in an open talk or a connection, definitely it's been mentioned, but you sort of put these saints, like you like to call them, Jesus, whoever, up on the pedestal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you say, oh, I could never be that. And that becomes an excuse not to try.
Yeah, yeah. That's another trick.
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
Because you look like you're pious and religious and you're humble. I could never be like Jesus. I'm humble.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're giving
Yeah.
yourself a slippery way out.
Yeah, yeah. It's easy way out.
And society likes
Wherever,
the humbleness.
yeah,
Society
yeah.
likes it when you say that.
Exactly.
Oh, good. Jesus is better than you. That's good. You're small. You're in the smallness.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tricky, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of walking around, it would be truer and more beautiful to say, I'm trying to be like Jesus. I'm going for it. I'm really going to do what I can to be. Who do you think you are? Instantly, society's threatened,
Yeah.
calls you arrogant, egotistical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's why when we turn our face toward ourselves, we don't announce, we don't touch anything as a society. We don't touch anything as our own mind. That is the first humble step you take. Because you touch anything, you touch even few people, you just tell them, like, you'll see how threatening it is and how they're gonna back attack. And the same thing, your own mind, same thing. There's no difference. It's back attacking you. So when you're choosing, you're just choosing from your own heart and constantly following it. It doesn't matter life or, you know, even like a hardships of the life, the most difficult of the lifetimes. You just don't need to go with the second thought. Stay with it, stay with it. Of course, it's gonna cost you, but the possibility is there. I always said in the beginning, I said, when you start, you never quit. Even the threat of this death comes, don't quit. The possibilities in there. Go ahead.
I just saw a picture of like this light, sort of like a cloud of light, which is the honesty and this right in the middle of this straightness. Like this, don't quit. Just this person being straight and choosing, almost like it's almost like the light is there and you're walking into it willingly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the light's not what's moving, you are. You're moving into the light to let yourself be exposed with courage or humbleness or whatever qualities are required to really let yourself be light, enlightened, like all the parts of you to have the light on them. It's really powerful what you just said.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we need every possible quality to support this whole, our willingness, our inner longing, or this desire. We need everything.
Yeah, the one thing we haven't mentioned yet that would be good to bring up just right now, because of what you just said, is when I was talking to you about this open talk, you mentioned something about like what we're seeing is like a little snake or a little mouse. And like it's this idea that we can't bring the judgment with the light of honesty, because it'll scurry away and it'll hide. Doesn't want to be seen. So we have to come with the gentleness, this powerful, straight truth, and yet this really soft gentleness all at the same time, almost seeming like opposite qualities, but we need both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't threaten.
Because in some societies, they have earned one single quality, for example, even the straightness, right? But only straightness doesn't work. It's a helping. It's like the person is more straight. It's not all over the place, you know, it knows how to control the mind kind of thing, right? But only controlling the mind is not, it doesn't become a truth.
We need more.
Yeah. We need way more than that. Because otherwise a person says, okay, you know what? I have success now. My mind does not bother me as much.
Meanwhile, you're just like this your whole life. Like, look, I'm in the straightness. I'm so in the truth. I'm so relaxed. Like, no,
Yeah. And even like being more straight, your life can be more organized, more, you know, well behaved and all that. There is a quality, but it's not everything though. So that's why the world we are living has many qualities. It's like a people, like more you returning in your own self, more you see the qualities are in this consciousness. But they're quite hidden so many different ways from ourselves because we are not present. So then slowly, everything begins to help you if you choosing to be sincere with yourself. You choosing to be so honest with yourself now.
and it's really important. And you've said this before too, not to use the qualities, not to think it's my quality. Then you'll use it for the life, which is not bad, but if you, of course, it's fine, but don't identify that that's what it's for. And you've said this to me and others, like you use the qualities for your seeing. And if it helps you make friends, if it helps you make money to live, that's okay. That's fine. If you're smart, go be a teacher. If you're strong, do something with your body. That's everything's fine. But the quality is for this.
Yeah.
And I know that I've gotten that confused for much of my life.
Yeah. Because it's like, for example, if this walk is everything for the person, this being honest is everything, then life the person is living, it becomes a secondary itself. It's not person is thinking, okay, it's okay for me to go earn the money also, right? It's because, as I mentioned earlier, it becomes like a thought again. It's like that it starts to control you again. It's tricky. It's so subtle, so tricky. So you see that, like more we are being honest, we are moving beyond this programmed way, step by step. And then because our love is more and more toward this walk, our love is more for this being honest. It doesn't matter what it's going to cost me. Not like a saying way, it doesn't matter what it's going to cost me, but seeing way, okay, now this part is trembling. Now this is a little bit trembling, right? Because it's just this trembling is showing you what is hidden. So more and more you're just walking within, it's like this love is increasing. You necessarily don't love this honesty from day one.
Yeah.
So the truth is not according to what you think truth is. So it's not like flowering thing. It's not like something very beautiful. It's not something very, according to your mind.
Right.
But your love begins to increase as you keep on paying the cost. Not I have paid the cost once. So little by little, we are earning. Nothing happens overnight because we are earning. In our heart, the word is truth. And whichever way, it's not like everybody's holding this word of truth. Some people, they want to become like that saint or, that saint or, it's like something is there. For some people, they are just so fed up from this suffering.
So what from the suffering?
Fed up from the suffering, the personal suffering. So everything helps the person to turn the face toward their own self. But over here, it's not a pretty picture. This is where we are running away from. We need to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, one of the things I wrote down, one of the questions or observations, just the idea that you've told us many times in many ways, like the person, you're not what you think you are, the person is false, kind of thing. And then there's no truth and there is no honesty in us. From a personal point of view, we don't understand honesty, we don't have honesty. Part of us is true and part of us is false. Like the whole person is just untrue.
Yeah. It's like the falseness means it's like nothing is permanent, right? We see something, the way we see is not like that. So the way we see it is like in the beginning is like something is permanent. But in this whole consciousness, there is nothing is a permanent. This is what we're going to say wholesome way, like, But when we begin to undo ourselves, it's this a whole a lot. You see it, like, tricks, twists, your own, what you think you were, you're not, again and again, your belief system, what you're coming from is not according to that. What I was seeking, the truth is not according to that, right? I wanted to be enlightened, it's not according to that.
And who's the I that wanted to be enlightened, and why did that I want to be enlightened? It's not according to that.
Nothing is according to what we ever think of it. Nothing. That's why Jesus used the word above. He says beyond, right? It's like you're not what you think you are. So what is this beyond? Because when you pay the cost, you just move through all the depths.
I was, it's great you just said that word, because one of the other things that I was thinking is that honesty, I wrote down, honesty shines the light on the falseness. So in a sense, honesty is like the greatest killer of the person. It's like the person murderer. It's like it brings the ultimate death. It's like,
Yeah.
And then there's nothing left, I guess, but the honesty. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like when we are choosing it from the heart, right? That's why whoever's choosing it, it will happen to that person. Then it's a sweet death of the person again and again. Sweet death. Sweet death is like you're present. In your presence, something happened. Something sweetly died because you chose, it's like it happened from your side. It happened through your own choice, but very dear choice, very dear than this whole world, of my whole world, dearer than that, right? This is when we call it sweet death. Otherwise, it's a killer. Killer means you got killed by something. You weren't even present in that being killed. Yeah.
I see.
But sweet death is when you're choosing to, regardless what you're gonna lose.
It seems like the person and the things that we're going to lose in the face of the honesty, the things that are just things that we think are me, but they're actually keeping me from myself, the true myself. They're barriers, all these eyes that I saw in the middle of the night, and all these beliefs and desires, the greed, whatever, the hiding of the greed. Like the light is dissolving those things or whatever it's doing. We become closer to ourselves in a way that we don't understand, because we don't actually know what ourselves even means. We just feel closer.
Yeah. So it's just like, just see that, what I said, sweet death. For example, you sweetly have died in the greed, sweetly, choosing way, so dear way. It's like you tasted this death consciously. It's like then you have just moved beyond this greed part. And now you're awake. Now you're awake in this greed. So whenever you'll just see just little wind is coming toward you, exciting you, you'll see it. Because you're awake, you're in a wakeful state. So how does a wakeful state happen? Through your sweet death in that whole procedure of this greed. This is very small thing we are choosing, right? So now the person is not prisoner of this greed. But this does not mean is something is done. According to the mind is always something is done and I can sleep. Waking up means it's like, that's what I said, once you start, it's forever. For example, Jesus said about the truth, right? So it's not, he said it and then he just went back to sleep. He said, okay, now it's my resting. I'm gonna, right? No, he was awake. It just became his natural state of beingness, where everything was able to be seen by him.
That's really interesting. You think of, oh, this pattern dropped, this dropped, it's gone. You think in very black and white terms, even on this walk. What you're saying now is like, even if it feels like it's dropped, stay open to it coming back, or there being a little ripple, or you seeing the greed in somebody else and letting them in too. So many different ways that you can continue to open to the greed, even if you've moved beyond it. Keep your eye on it anyway.
This is what we call as like integration. So even the task for the awakened being is never done. The responsibility increases.
And somehow, I don't know how I'm seeing this. This is very interesting. It's like, as soon as you said integration, the word that came to me is fragmentation, which is like the greed is like this thing, the greed. And it's fragmented among all the different people in the world and animals or whatever. We all have the greed. And so to really open in the greed, you almost have to bring back all of the greed from everybody into yourself. It's like somehow integration heals the fragmentation, but you have to integrate all of the greed, not just yours. You just have a piece.
Yeah. This is how you move beyond. Because if something is outside of you, it's just still, you know.
Yeah, you're just like, I've moved
it's
beyond.
like pulling your attention once in a while, right? So if that thing comes inside of you, finally arrives back, and it'll dissolve back in the person. So the world is me, but within me through this integration. So in the very beginning, our awareness is very limited. And then slowly through this integration, our awareness constantly increasing. And more the awareness, more we can bring it, everything, like whatever we're becoming aware inward.
Yeah, it seems like this, on a personal level, it seems like such a journey to even transcend one's own greed. And then you realize there's all this other greed outside of me. It's almost like, I know it's not in steps. I know it's not like that rigid. It's not, first you look at your greed and then you take other people's greed. And it's probably, they probably feed themselves. You probably learn more about your greed from seeing other people's greed, and vice versa. Learn about other people's greed by being more honest about your own, and all of this, because it is just one system. But it seems like,
it is one system, exactly.
But it's like so much. It's like never ends. This just, and we're talking about one thing, greed. It's just never the opening and the honesty and the light. You can never say, I saw that. I got it now. I got it.
Yeah. Because the moment I got it, it's like the same thing. It's like the mind is gonna say that, and it's gonna trick you.
It's gonna close and go to sleep. Say, I'm done.
Yeah. And this going back to sleep is very strong in the person.
I was just seeing that, and there's this belief that I just became aware of underneath the sleep, which is that I need sleep. There's this belief of like, I'm going to do it. And we learned this from the religions, some of the religions anyway, about heaven, blah, blah, blah. This idea that you're going to work really hard, you're going to wake up, you're going to come back to truth. And finally, after all that work, you get to rest, because on the surface in the world, we work and we rest, we work and we rest. So we have this belief that we can't, because you've been telling us for years, like, no, you don't even have to think of it as work, because there's too many negative beliefs about work, but you're going to work forever. Like, you just keep seeing and opening and being, and you never stop. But our person, at least my person, has always interpreted that as, oh, gosh, that sounds so exhausting. You just work forever and ever and ever. I don't think the person understands where you're coming from when you say that. There's a misunderstanding that creates a fear and a limitation and this desire to be done. I got it, and to go to sleep.
Yeah. Because according to the mind, everything is like a twist. It's just mind twist and tricks you. It's like, just see that. The person is so, as I said, it's like a big mechanical world, right? It's running, this machinery is running. It's faster and faster and faster. And as you keep on earning, and as I said, the one has to slow down so much, right? So even this part of greed is just slowing down the person so much.
I mean, seeing the greed.
Yeah, even buying, just seeing this greed.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not one thing, it's about so many parts of the person is being seen through this greed, right? Fighting parts and, you know, rejecting parts, beliefs and all that. I'm supposed to be better. I'm supposed to not to be greedy.
All the hiding parts, the way you hide your greed, all those behaviors.
Yeah, so it's like everything is, it's not one thing. It's like a greed is carrying this world, being seen by you. It's slowing you down so much. Itself, it's not, in the beginning I said, okay, just slow down a little bit. It just came in your awareness, like, okay, I'm speedy, right? So, but then in this process, you're gonna slow down so much. And that slowing down, it's like before the person is just mechanical machinery is running 24 hours, right? And now it's so much slowing down. That is a rest.
That is so cool. I thought you were gonna, I was like, I think I know. That's so great. That is such a great explanation of our misunderstanding.
Exactly. And but in the beginning, the person says, okay, let's get over with it. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. It's like, it's so pulling you, right? Because we hear the word, you should rest, because the mind grabs it. And the mind is always saying, okay, this is healthy for me to rest. But you see, if you slowing down, it's a healing you, that is a rest. It's healing you.
So even our concept of work is false. We misunderstand. We think work is to be like, work can be, as you're talking, I almost see like a tree, like so still and slow, but a tree is working, it's doing so much to live.
Yeah.
But it's no big deal to the tree because it's just, it's restful beingness, it's restful action, restful work, whatever. I don't have the right word for it, but it's really great what you just said. Really eye-opening.
Yeah. So that's why nothing is according to our mind. When we are opening, we are just entering into a different world. The world is like maybe not acceptable by the outer world, by your mind world. But if you have that longing, that you're willing to be in this, regardless what is costing you, it just begins to heal your, it's like inner, for example. It's like when I'm saying heal, it's like, I don't want people to focus on just, okay, this means physically I'm going to be healed. It's like, you don't know how much your soul is wounded.
Yeah.
How long you've been fighting with it, rejecting it. Right? So this healing has to happen, and it's happening through as you're choosing to be honest.
And the way I'm seeing it now, it's like the honesty is not us. It's other than the world. And the honesty is the light. And in a way, we don't have to do anything. In a way, we're just being willing to stand in the light. It's like the light is doing the work. The honesty is doing the work. We're just allowing. So
Yeah.
it's even more restful than we think it is. It's not work the way our mind conceives of it.
Yeah.
Because I
Because
think,
person does not like to be exposed.
right.
That's the biggest thing. It's like the moment the light shines, the person is just doing everything to hide or to protect or to lie again, all that. It's like, okay, it's not my time yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you see the thinking according to the mind, the light is something. It's like one day the light is gonna shine and I'm gonna be somewhere. And the same time, how much we are hiding from this light.
I also think it's going to be this arduous, difficult, like we have to dig, like I have this idea you have to dig through all your crap and your lies. There's so much work, but that's all doership. Like if you just can allow, the light will do all that for you. If you can just stay in the gentle straightness and the willingness to be forever exposed. We just completely don't understand. We have no idea. We just make up a story about what it's going to take. And we've never done it before. So how could we possibly know? We don't know anything. We don't know anything about the honesty. We know nothing about the honesty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what the process is of being more honest or being exposed by that light. We make up a whole story about it. It's so clear.
Exactly. That's why it's so tricky. That's why it's kind of, it seems like it's impossible.
Yeah, because and it's another game we play, just like putting Jesus up on a pedestal. Jesus is impossible to reach. The honesty is too hard to do. Blah, blah, blah. Poor me. I'm just this little, all these games.
Yeah.
That look like humility and look like I need rest. It's things that seem perfectly reasonable to the world, but they're lies, kind of.
Yeah. Because person is so attractive to the sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you see, if something is like you're attractive to, it's like a magnet, right? You don't even think, it takes over. So again and again, it's like you need a teacher. This is the teacher who can really help you not to go back to sleep. You're not gonna like it, because even you choosing your teacher to help you to wake up, to be honest, but you think you're gonna like it. You're not gonna even like the teacher. Okay? But you don't like that light. So that's why what we think and what we are is a two different worlds.
Right. What our heart wants and what our mind wants. What we say we want and what we actually on personal level want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because ego, this anger, this fear, is very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like in a way it's so simple, and in a way it's extremely difficult.
Yeah, because we're not even aware of the beliefs that we have that are limiting us.
Yeah.
Because we just think, well, that's just the way it is. No, that's the way you decided, or you were told, or somebody you read somewhere. You don't know that that's the way it is, really. And there's so many things we think are the way they are. We never think of them as beliefs. We just think that's the way, that's true.
Yeah.
So we never examine them.
Yeah. 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 And sometimes the person is in a beautiful state and the person says, I'm so happy. I don't need anything. I'm okay.
Yeah, let
Right.
me stay right here.
I am honest. I am right. But I always says again and again, person who has this yearning inside is the luckiest person in the whole world. Forget about what you're gonna attain or not attain. But this having this inner longing, this yearning, this quest, this thirst is it's just first thing. And you don't want to sleep in that. You don't want to. You want this to be have it more. So you don't sleep. If you have a more, it's like it becomes like a fire. You can't rest now. It has to become as a fire. So you can't rest. Because sometimes the people think they have this yearning, but it's just sitting on the back burner.
As you're talking, I'm seeing how far I am from what you're saying.
Yeah. Because less than fire, and then everything else is bigger. And you saw that. You saw those eyes.
It's almost like constantly paying the cost, constantly turning the face away from whatever is coming your way, the greed or the fear,
Yeah.
turning back in.
Yeah. It's like your walk cannot be just like a slow walk. Right? Because in the slow walk, we're gliding back into the same what we're attracted to. It's called sleep again. Then in a sleepy mode, you're gonna believe I am in this walk.
I'm becoming more awake to the powerful draw to the sleep, how much it's like how many beliefs there are about the sleep also.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when the one is in the fire of this yearning, it's willing to do anything. Willing to lose anything. And this fire has to be aggressive than before. Because otherwise we just, it's easy to go comfortable and then sleep. Just remember what we are really pulled by or what we really attracted to the sleep. Ego is also sleep. I got it is also sleep.
Yeah, big time.
I know better, it's a sleep. There's so many ways there. It's like it's a sleep, back to sleep. And when you're gliding back, it's the person is getting trickier though. Because now person knows the cost, and the other way around is like my ways. I know better. I got it. You know, all those things are just taking over the person. More fire. It's not so much about, okay, how I can just be more fireful. No, just you know that you need more fire than before.
I see the things that some of the things that I'm secretly valuing or not secretly valuing more than the fire. I see like the security, the greed, the comfort, the sleep. Just I see them like almost like towers, like these tall things that are. And in front of them, there's this little fire.
Yeah.
And this big. That's how I see them.
Yeah. Because for the person who's waking up, the comfort is like a disease.
It's powerful. Powerful word.
Because when you are progressing, I said, you know, once you start, you don't give up. Right? Not give up means you need more fire than before. It's like the moment you give up, it becomes so powerful. That person becomes more powerful than before, trickier than before. It's going to lie so strongly. It's going to protect you more strongly. Because it wants to just stay in the same place. Even that cozy place is just a suffering, pure suffering. It likes that. But waking up, progressing way is more fire, more everything can help us.
Becoming present to how incredibly limited we are by our beliefs about sleep and rest and this waking up, and how by not becoming that fire, we just make ourselves so small in not a good way, like powerless, impotent. We don't step into our truth. We just limit ourselves so much. That's probably the best word I can use. It's so limiting, these beliefs, so limiting. Because the way you're talking, you almost, it's like you have the power of a God. I mean, the power of fire is the power of God, just to keep walking and walking and walking and become more and more fireful and never get tired. It's almost like the belief goes, you're not, a human can't do that. A person can't do that. And you're kind of saying, yes, no, a person can. Like really become that, like the godlike fire that Jesus had or whatever. And I'm just becoming present to how much there's a mass belief in me, but also a societal belief that I can't be that. It's an excuse, but also it makes us lame, it paralyzes us, it wounds us, it chops our legs out from under us. We become crippled.
Can you say again, like a crippled and
crippled in the sense that we can't walk. Our beliefs cripple us.
Oh, beliefs, yeah, beliefs,
our
beliefs cripples us.
Limits us and cripples us, like we're in a wheelchair now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even saying everything I just said, something else came in, like this little excitement of like, I can be more.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of like, this limitation doesn't have to stay.
Yeah.
If I have the willingness, I can really truly be more.
Yeah.
More than I ever could imagine.
Yeah. Because for this, we need everything. We need every possible aid, right? To help us to be in this even what we are longing for, right? So this aid itself is like this world, okay? This aid itself is our mind world, okay? It won't let us sleep in a way if we are inside of us. There's always some kind of flag is just there, keeping our attention outward and helping us to be awake. Sometimes a strong wave comes. It's helping us if we can use it.
So let me just understand. You're saying all these things in the mind, all these beliefs, these eyes are helping us because they're giving us something to see, giving us something to shine the light on.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And the people outside of us who touch us, make us angry, make us whatever, anything.
Anything. It's like even a single thought, even somebody says something negative thought, for example, right? So for us, it's to just see, because otherwise we say, okay, that person is a negative about me. But if that person, we can bring it in, which is not going to be easy. Yeah. So from this honest openness, honest efforts, if you bring that person inside of you, then what you're going to find? You're going to see that person is not outside of me, it's me. I am. So you see, the person who was outside has a negative thought about me or something about me. It just became a light when I just honestly brought this person back in me and myself. Because the moment you realize this is me, that's the light. Not by saying it, not by saying it from the distance. You have to be in this sincere realization. And then your head is gonna come down to that person's feet. This is how this world helps us. We keep the world out. We are just it's like eliminating our help.
I almost see this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So just to remember what Jesus said about I think you use the word above the world, right?
Not of the world, I think.
Not of the world, not of the world. Yes. Yeah. So
Yes,
this is how it is, not of
out
the
of the
world.
world. He said out of the world. He said
Okay.
out or something, but the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, because if the word comes in me as, right, little by little, and then you know that it's me, the realization is me, and then the world begins to dissolve. This is a moving us beyond, it's itself is a beyondness.
Yeah, we begin to become not of this world when we let the world in.
Yeah, yeah. Because if the world is outside of me, I can't pass that. I can't pass that line. It's a threatening me, it's judging me, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like it. It's like it's outside, distracting me. But if the world keep on coming back in me, the beyondness itself is happening.
Yeah, because you're scrambling this idea of what I am. If I let you in or that person in or somebody says something and I let them in, who am I becomes a very different question. What am I even? If I am that and I am you and I am him and I am her, the mind is just like, well, then who am I? And another thing comes up, which is, this is going to sound really stupid, but like this idea of loneliness, the person goes, well, if everybody's just me and there's only one me, who's going to keep me company? I'm all alone. Just this stupid, limiting, ignorant belief. But it's like loneliness, kind of like I like having all the others so I can talk to them. Even not liking them or liking them, it's entertainment and company and all these just ideas of personal ideas of comfort and civilization.
Could you just see that from the day one, the person is so fearful to be alone or feel the loneliness, aloneness. It's like so fearful of it.
Big time.
Right? So it's like, it's a holding on to strong belief, like if someone is there out here, then I am someone also.
Yeah, it helps me exist.
Yeah. So even the person is so fearful of to be alone, but at the same time, it's being convinced by, okay, if this person exists, then I exist. Right? Secretly. So when slowly you begin to undo yourself, and this person returns back in me, dissolves back in me, humbles me. And then it's not only dissolving is happening, the intelligence, the gain of intelligence is also happening within. Right? Because otherwise we think, okay, if that dissolves back in me, and then what? Right? Then who am I? Like, then what is this all about? Right? But this is just a mind is asking question before time.
Yeah.
But when the one is walking within, this intelligence, this inner understandings are happening. Person is earning it. This higher intelligence is much different than this mind intelligence. Because mind intelligence is like, okay, I can talk about it. And the higher intelligence is like, you ate something, it digested in your system completely. You can't talk about it now. But though, Your understanding happened within you.
As you're talking, what's becoming clear to me is that the mind has all of these beliefs that are against the waking up. And it's good to communicate them with a teacher and good to see them. But you can't, on their level, you can't talk to them and explain it to them so that they're okay and they go away.
Yeah.
You almost have to have that trust of saying, okay, I see that it's a belief. It's good to expose it as a belief because now I can see that there's something beyond that, and just keep on walking, because there's no way to explain to the mind. Like the mind's going, well, if I bring everybody into myself, I'll be all alone. Can't talk the mind out of that because it's such a limited way to see it.
Yeah. Because in the early years, the people used to argue with me so much. It's useless to talk, and so when the people argue with you, it's just the people who are willing to walk.
It's almost like if you don't see color, you only see black and white and gray, and you're telling us about a universe, a world of color, that if we just keep walking, the colors will wake up. But there's no color. You can't, we just have to trust and expose the limits, but just keep walking, because there's no explanation that's going to satisfy a person who's colorblind that no, there's actually color. You just don't see it yet.
Yeah. Because more we are, even now you see that as a group we were walking. It's like everything, even each person's openings is a helping the group. It's not only opening is a helping. Sometimes person is struggling. It's like one person is coming and struggling with something. It's also waking up so many people's what was hidden inside of it.
Oh yeah.
So this collective awareness as a group is so much needed.
Yeah, it's like,
as I said, we need every possible aid. Every possible aid. Right? Then each one is struggling different ways.
But we resonate with them. We see the aspect of ourselves that they reflect. We go, yeah, I can relate to that too. I didn't really know, but I am struggling too.
But this is also kind of a part of that, our earning. How much people used to become uncomfortable by other struggle.
Yeah.
You know,
or turn off to it, like, yeah, it's not my problem.
Yeah. The person will just get up and just starts to ache and start to go to the washroom. It's like, okay, I feel a little bit hungry and I need a little fresh air, because it's very uncomfortable. So when you begin to bear your own discomfort, and then others' struggles begins to help you.
Yeah, because you can bear their discomfort too.
Yeah. And you are less judgmental, less critical. Yeah. And this is how this as a group is a building. This openness, this smallness, and all the qualities we are talking about.
I don't know if this is, I don't know if what I'm about to say is a departure, in which case you can just bring me back, but I was sitting and just thinking about today and the talk, and my mind went to sort of a more of a science level of this oneness, and I just want to share what I saw.
Yes.
So, and this is nothing revolutionary. I mean, scientists have said this. We all know this is true. Like, we're made up of atoms and molecules. We're made up of atoms and molecules and all kinds of things, and carbon oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And these things are in the air, they're in the food we eat, they're in the things we own, maybe in a chair. I mean, there's all kinds of different molecules and stuff. And like, it's almost like when we die, I just saw myself dying, which is something we're never comfortable with seeing. I really saw I'm going to die, and my molecules or whatever is going to go into the earth. And then I saw some tree planted, and it was going to suck me up into the roots and grow the tree and grow the fruit. And the person comes and picks the fruit and eats the fruit. And then they excrete the fruit, it goes into the toilet, and then that goes somewhere. And I was just like, we are really one in the simplest, stupidest way. We are one. You don't even have to be a guru or Jesus. I mean, there's a famous scientist, I can't remember his name. He talks about this all the time. He's sort of a very popular scientist because he communicates ideas in a very simple, clear to understand way. And I think I saw him explain this a couple of years ago. It's like, yeah, we are the stars. We are made of the same things that the stars are made of. We are the universe in the simplest way. And yet we feel so me and I'm alone and I'm special, but then I pay for that specialness by being afraid to die, and I have so much fear. And we just don't understand that it's just always changing and always flowing. And who I'm just borrowing these molecules for a very short time to make what's called me. Soon they will go to other uses. So they're not even my body's not even my body. The molecules aren't even my molecules. They're the universe's molecules. They're just kind of put together into this thing that's been named Josh. And I have this consciousness that I don't understand that's using this vehicle made up of these molecules. It's such a different way to see things. And we don't go there very often. We just don't, even from
exactly, because we can't go even from that scientific way. We can't go there. We only have heard that person, right? We says, okay, yeah, so that's it. That makes sense. That's enough. But we don't return to our own self, though. We're not willing to discover that reality. Whichever angle is suitable to the person, you can open from there. But that's not it, though.
I mean, if you even stay from that point of view, it just becomes uncomfortable. It's like, well, if these aren't my molecules, what am I? It's back to the same thing. Who am I? It's I am. It's ego.
Exactly. So that's why when you begin to see yourself, whatever you see, for example, you see your aggressiveness or your anger, right? But now you are personalizing. That's why you're even seeing this anger. There's a whole big agenda behind it. And to this person, you say, okay, you are small, these molecules, it's kind of useless. Because person's identification is so much with this aggression, this anger, me, mine, power, right? So by saying the things, it's not going to happen in us. You have to walk within. You have to be realistic.
You have to see all these things that you're doing.
Because otherwise we keep on we're trying to build something over this, what we call it, we just said it, dishonesty, or we can call it identifications, powers. We're trying to build something on top of it, the truth, or even these realizations, who we are, right? It's like, then this is also, it's meaningless. It becomes like just a book knowledge, mind knowledge.
Yeah, it's got no foundation. It's almost like,
yeah,
We're trying to add something, but the only way to come home is by subtracting.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But it is a good pointer. Like when I saw that, it
Mm.
showed me how ignorant I am. It showed me how I don't see that. Like I could see it with my mind and how I don't live from there. I can't live from there. I'm incapable of living from there. So in that sense, it was a very good pointer to how much more I need to walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you see that, because for the mind, for the human being, the form is everything. Because it's like the human being is in a form. So everything is in a form. In relation with this human being is a form. Whatever we can see, whatever we can think, imagine, it's a form. It's just a form. So to move beyond this form is, it's like you can't do that. Okay, this means, okay, this emptiness is has no form. But not this way. It's a form and not form. It's to discover within and to relate with it's your own form. This is a form, realization of your form, and helps you to move beyond this form. If we don't acknowledge these, if we denying, keep on denying, we can't move beyond. We can't become that small molecule. We can't. And we can't understand. Be hungry. Be so hungry to discover. Be so fireful to discover.
Yeah,
You
really.
discover from every angle you discover. We don't need to deny. We don't need to deny scientific ways. We don't need to deny the religious points. We don't need to deny anything else. We don't need to deny it. You need to let it come. Let yourself realize it. You have a capacity to do that.
That's really all about the light of honesty.
Yeah, yeah. Without this light of honesty, nothing can happen. Nothing. Because we think protection is right?
Big time.
And we believe in this right. For the person, the protection is right means this is the reality, this is the truth. This is the honesty, right? Because it's protecting me. But this is how everything is hidden under this protection, because there's no light. There's no light shining. It's only based on what is right and what's wrong.
And the minute we have a belief about the way things are, that's like an umbrella shielding the light. Because now we have a system, we have a structure, we have a belief system. We think this is the way things are. We try to fit into that thing.
Yeah, the way the things are, they are. But if you're satisfied with it, of course, there is no way the one can touch that person. But if you have this urge inside of you, which is not letting you rest, and it should not let you rest, that is the way though. It's like when the one is in a fire of this kind of quest, person does not even think of anything. Person is just ready. In that person, there is no even, it's like a thought is not like, okay, I don't know if I can pay the cost. Right? If there is a fire, you don't think. There's no time to think. No, this is how it is. But if there is no fire, it's just kind of a small kind of a longing. As I said, it's like the back burner kind of longing. And then the person is keep on thinking over and over again, and so fearful, resistance to pay the cost.
And it feels like in the fire, the cost doesn't even feel like much of a cost because there's just the fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a fire itself is like when the person is really ripened.
Yeah, like the person's ready to dissolve. That's what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Ready
Yeah.
to just dissolve. The urge to see oneself and to see what needs to be dissolved, and to just, which brings you closer and closer to that you that you don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
So the ultimate intimacy in a way. Just come closer to yourself.
Yes.
And every belief is against it.
Yes.
Every belief's a barrier that gets in the way.
And that's why this whole system is about these beliefs, barriers. This honesty is the way. And this honesty itself becomes and the truth belongs to itself.
Not to me. I belong to the truth.
And thank you so much. I hope it's so helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you so much for your guidance and your patience and your wisdom. Very, very illuminating conversation. We all thank you.
And thank you to all of you, listening, being part of this conversation.